Bruh, this toy is knucking futs, dude. Look at this thing, man. Obviously, this is our boy Jazz, right? But he's decked out in this super mode. And this is from BingoToys. And when I look at this, dude, it just looks like a 3-0 figure that can transform. I mean, it has that type of vibe. The quality's pretty good. Materials are pretty nice. There's a lot of paint, and you can see a ton of detail. There are certain areas that do feel a little bit fragile when we do the transformation, and I'll go through all of that, but just kind of looking at this is pretty wild. And let me show you what this looks like without the accessories. All right, so here it is without the accessories, and dude, it cleans up real nice. It still looks really, really good, you know? And it's crazy that this thing transforms into this thing. Amazing, right? Crazy wazy like Patrick Swayze. You guys know what that is? But anyway, one downside I will say is that these speakers that were attached over here, you can affix them here, but this tab and the paint that it has on it is a little thick. And so while it does go in, and that's fine, and again, beautifully decorated and painted speaker, the paint rubbed off. You see that? The paint rubbed off, and now it's inside that little kneecap area, and that's not the best, but whatever, dude. I'll give them a pass. Pretty nice. Rubber type gummy wheels. I will say, while it does roll, I think it's skimming the bottom over here. I think something's touching, like the wheels turn and all, you know, and this is an uneven surface, but you know what, this one's not turning that well. So it doesn't roll great. I wish it would, though. I really, really wish it would. And just look at this, man. Look how clean that thing is. It's really nice, isn't it? And it does some interesting things that we've actually seen in some perhaps, I don't know if it's the Siege line or other third-party toys, but the feet are over here. And this bit, the exhaust, this is actually made from the heels. And so that's really interesting. And so you can see the arms over here, the head. And so I keep on saying, and so, but don't focus on that. And so, okay. So this thing borrows a lot of transformation from previous vehicles and toys that we have seen, but the way it does it is pretty unique because it's not the first time you've seen arms over here, you've seen the head over here, and obviously these are the legs. It's not the first time that you've seen this, but the way that they do it is pretty unique. Another thing about the speakers, they have this gimmick where they combine together, and I'm like, yeah, okay, that's cool, but I don't know what this does. I don't know what this does. And yeah, everything has this combination gimmick. And it doesn't really talk about it in the manual. These things combined, I've never seen that before, nor do I understand why they would have to do that. Hey, does this move? Is this supposed to be some like Mega Blaster rocket launcher type thing that I have? I don't know. And then we got this sword, and the sword also does that, yeah, which is kind of cool. But yeah, man, they fell in love with these like accessories that combine together, and again, not exactly sure why that's all there. But this guy's beautiful, and so I'm not going to transform him right now. I'm actually going to transform him into robot mode and then take him into this mode. But I just wanted to show you the vehicle mode first, just so you get a sneak peek of what's in store, okay? Hey, really quick with the commercial break from our sponsor, TF Safari, tfsafari.com. Check them out for all of your mecha needs from first, second, third, fourth party. They also do upgrades as well. You're not going to find a lot of sites that cater to different tastes and needs. tfsafari.com. And if you do go there, utilize the codes that you see on the top right corner of the screen and save yourself a little bit of change, man. They are a very reliable vendor. They are out of China. They ship to you in about 2 weeks, super sturdy boxes. And yeah, tfsafari.com. Can't say enough nice things about them. And so thank you so much, TF Safari, for sponsoring this video. All right, so here we have Jezzy in his robot mode. Again, this is from BingoToys, and really quick, since that last cutaway from alt mode, I've actually been away for about 24 hours. Something came up, and I'm kind of feeling under the weather, so if I sound different or kind of behave different, just please understand. But yeah, so Jezzy, BingoToys, beautiful character. Looks like he is based off of some type of like 3-0 kit. I mean, I mentioned that before, and he even has a bunch of articulation that makes you feel like he's a 3-0 guy, you know? Like deep ab crunch, like that's nuts. Yes, it does break up the sculpt, but the fact that he can kind of do this is wild. Lots of great articulation. They've done everything that they possibly can within reason, because this thing still needs to transform. So you can see double hinged elbows there. The legs have good articulation on them. Look at that, deep, you know? So I feel like they took the 3-0 philosophy and, wait, hold up. There we go. Yeah, he has a double swinging hip bar over here, and so if you do need to do the super hi-ya kick, you're not going to be impeded due to range of motion. Like it will come down so that you can do super high out, right? So again, yeah, I just feel like they took that mobility and posability philosophy from 3.0, perhaps stylized some of the look and invented this guy. Because, yeah, I don't know. I'm just guessing because I've never seen Jazz in this particular form, looking so stylized, looking so, I don't know, looking so awesome. There's a couple of areas over here. Okay, there it goes. This is part of the sculpt, and as you'll see later on, you can see how this is like closed up. Like that's a really interesting bit because when you remove the knee, that part will fold up. And so again, they've done their job to make this feel like this is a non-transforming figure. And for what it's worth, I think it's done pretty well. There's a couple of areas. One thing I'll mention is the fingers are a little bit weird. They're not bad per se, but I mean, they are kind of thin. I mean, the plastic feels fine, but it's just that they're thin, right? And then the way they fold is like that. Like that. And by the way, if you can fold your fingers like that, you know that you can do this. I think I showed you on videos before. Because what happens is the ligaments that hold your finger straight, when it's like this, it's relaxed. And so you could just do it like this, like there's no bone inside. Anyway, that's how his fingers bend. That's how his fingers bend. Just like that. And when you're transforming him, you need to hide the hands within the forearm. And you got to get it right or it just won't work. And so just be mindful of that. Also, the thumb, the positioning of the thumb is okay. But I have not been able to find a way for the thumb to hold the accessories properly. And I'm going to talk about that later. And he does come with a lot of accessories, by the way. But yeah, so the hands are okay. But if 5 is a perfect score, they'd probably get like 3.5 or a 4. 3 being average, 4 being really good, 5 being like supremely excellent. You'd probably get like a 3.5. As far as accessories goes, like I said, we are going to talk about him. Let me just kind of stand him up properly. He comes with these speakers. I showcased them earlier in the alt mode, and they do combine, and I think it's pretty useless. All the combination gimmicks. I mean, I'm going to show you how he holds each of the blasters and each of the accessories in their singular mode and also in the combined mode as well, and I'll comment on that as necessary. But yeah, he comes with 2 of these. They look pretty cool, man. Especially this. Kind of gives me like a Rambo vibe, like over the shoulder, like a rocket launcher. That looks pretty nice. It doesn't store the greatest on his shoulder. And again, I will show you all of that later. And then he comes with these 2 like energon blades or daggers or whatever, short swords. Very, very cool as well. They also combination gimmick, but again, not that effective. But yeah. So he comes with a lot of cool stuff. Lots of cool stuff. But dude. Dig the paint on this guy, right? It's gnarly. It's really, really well done. I think this is metal. There's metal over here on the shoulders. And he adds a decent amount of weight. He's not light. He's not light, but he's so exquisite and just so fun to look at in so many different ways and like angles. The gold really, really pops. The not cobalt, but this kind of like shiny, shimmery blue really pops. You can see the red, white, blue stripes underneath, emblematic of Jazz. Same thing over here. Again, paint is done really well. There have been some areas, though, I have noticed that I've received some paint scrapes. Like, you see that? Right there and right there. That's where the speakers plug in I showed you earlier. And, oh, man. Yeah, maybe I caught a cold. Those definitely will encounter some paint scrapes because that connection port... that connection tab right over here, the paint is just too thick, right? And so when I was looking at this previously, I thought that the paint had scraped off from here, but it might be paint scraped out from the inside, and so that's not great. There's a couple of other few areas because the transformation is very, very tight that I have seen some minor areas, and I'll point them out as we go through the transformation. He has a back skirt that lifts up, and yeah, I'm just kind of showing you the range of motion while we kind of talk with him. Man, dig that belly, dig that gut, dig that detailing and stuff. Here is a little bit hollow, but I don't think too many people are going to be storing their figures like that. Overall, he has tremendous presence. He looks very, very good. And again, I'm not really sure where that website goes. Buyer beware. Just buyer beware of that. But yeah, it looks nice. Backpack over here. Like I don't think Jazz has that. Normally he has the the canopy, the top of the car behind this. And so, again, they've done some really cool things. And these go up and down as well. And that's part of the transformation. But yeah, and the wings also store in different areas. But I'll show you all of that. And so let's check out the accessories. All right, here he is with the blasters equipped. They look good, right? They look real good. I will say one thing that I don't like, and I haven't really figured out a way to do this, is see the thumb? The thumb has to be tucked down. I haven't found a way to kind of get it to sit over the fingers like it naturally would, you know what I mean? And same thing for the other hand as well. I mean, you don't really notice it because, I mean, typically you're just looking at it from the outside, right? And so when you're posing this, no one's really going to be looking at the thumbs. It's just going to be like, wow, what an imposing presence. It looks very nice. But yeah, it's unfortunate that, yeah, you just can't do that. And they are on tabs and slots. There's tabs on the hand and slots on the blasters. And yeah, the fingers meaningfully, they do kind of like meaningfully wrap around them. They don't have separate digits in the front, so it's kind of like a that. But and they do kind of get in the way of transformation a little bit, just a little bit, and I'll show you that later. I will say one thing that I kind of don't like, and you know, it seems like I'm pointing a lot of things that I don't like about this, but it's because there are a lot of things that I do like about this. More like than don't like. I mean, lots to like. Very little that I don't like about this. This thing. So this compresses. Here, let me set this down for a second. This folds down so that it can rest on his back. But the native placement for this is this. So you put that there and look how far back that is. That's a really weird look. You know what I mean? It should be mounted like way closer up here. Like if it could like fit. Oh, you know what? Hold up for a second. I do see a tab here. I know this tab is for vehicle mode, but I'm wondering if it will tab into the handle. Oh, it does. Okay, that's a little bit better, but still, it's laying flat versus standing up. So a couple of points down on that. It's cool that this orientation is a little bit better, but ideally, what you probably wanted was like an extra space by that tire, and for this to sit right in there, right? And so that's too bad. That's too bad because this thing does a lot of things right. And so a couple of points docked for that, but still good toy. All right, so here he is holding the combine mode, and like I said, I think it's kind of weird. It doesn't have a ton of clearance, so you can't really hold it in that many unique ways. And I don't know. It doesn't really do it for me. Yeah, so I mean, cool little gimmick that they combine like that, but again, I don't really see the play pattern. And here he goes with his short sword. I think that's too long to be a dagger. That looks cool, but also the same thing. The thumb cannot wrap around the hilt of the sword, and so a couple of points docked for that. When you're not using it, you can store it on the side of his hips. Yeah, not too bad. I don't recall Jazz ever having swords, but coolio that they included these things, and they also store in alt mode as well. But yeah, that's him and his swords. All right, so here he is with the blade connected, and yeah, it looks all right, but again, it doesn't really, I don't know, add anything to the singular blade in my opinion. Like, you can't dual wield it because he doesn't really have butterflies. I don't think he can. Yeah, his arms just don't close in like that, and so you can't wield it in both of his hands. And so, yeah, while it is cool that you can do that, while it is cool that you can do that, doesn't really do anything for me. And here he is with the speakers attached. If you want, you can have that on his shoulder like so. And you can also have it on his forearm, and that is about it, I think. Yeah. I do wish like it could have attached to the door. That would have been kind of nice, right? But I don't see any particular mechanism for it. Because, what is it, reveal the shield or something like that? Or I think some of the Jazz figures had some type of speaker by the door gimmick, right? Where it sits up here. I think that would have been cool, but I don't see any type of mechanism that allows you to do that. Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Yeah, sorry about that. But like I was saying, yeah, it would have been nice if this could mount up here. That would have been a really cool look, you know? And so, yeah, I guess they just kind of didn't do like the shoulders right. Like the blaster over here doesn't sit properly. And these don't have any way of mounting on there. And so I think the best look that you're probably going to get out of him is having it mounted on the forearms. And that's where they secured the best. And so, like that. Yeah, it's a pretty cool look. Pretty cool look, but they could have done better. Before I forget, let's talk about the wings. The wings aren't accessories per se. They stay here for alt mode. You don't have to remove them or anything like that, but they do tell you in the instructions that you can take it off and mount it on his shoulders like that. If that's the look that you want, you can do that. I don't know if it could fit into the forearm as well. Yeah, I guess it kind of can. And I don't know if Jazz ever has that look. I'm trying to think, like G1. You know what? I just don't remember. Maybe he just had wings. Maybe the G1 toy had wings. But either way, yeah, they just kind of plug in on these rubber, not rubber, like PVC like ports back there. And also, if you want to store the wings separately, not store them separately, orient them separately, they do move around. And again, these are all things that the instructions reveal. So a lot of different things that you can do with the wings. But I don't know, man. I just like them a la Dotson. Dotson! We got Dotson here! You guys know that from Jurassic Park? See, nobody cares. But all right, here he goes. Now that we've kind of talked about the majority of the accessories and stuff like that, let me show you his super all combined mode, all the toppings on the nachos. Alrighty, here we have him. Nachos, full topping. Nachos Bel Grande. Bel Grande. Is that even a word? It's supposed to be Del Grande? I don't know, man. Here we have the swords sheathed on this, well, not sheathed, but we have them stored on the sides. He has little ports and posts where you can store that. You can see that he's dual wielding, doubling them up, and not combining them in that very ineffective mode. We have the speakers placed on his hands, and then we have the doors folded up like so. And so yeah, that's the look. That's the look, and that's not bad. I think it looks very, very cool on the shelf. Has a ton of presence, and like I said, if anything, this really, really reminds me of a 3-0 joint, and I am not mad at that. But now that we've kind of taken a look at the bot mode and we've taken a look at the alt mode, I will show you the transformation process. It is a bit involved. I may need to resort to using the instructions at certain points, but yeah, just bear with me and let's get to it, Druid. Alrighty, let's get to the transformation, and hopefully I don't need to resort to instructions. Just trying to see how good or bad this old man's memory is. You'll have to open this up, but this thing is very, very specific. Like, the space is very tight. It's extremely tight, and as a result, you see that bit, the paint is already kind of like worn off over there, as you can see. Not thrilled about that, but it is extremely tight getting it over. And yeah, I just wish they had done a little bit more QC. Also, you got to make sure that the thumb is it can't be like that. The thumb has to be tucked into the side, like so. So I can't even do it with my hand, but the thumb is pointed downward. And then you will open this bit up, and once again, unfortunate, you can see it there too. It's just too tight. They need to give it a little bit more space, and I have not found a meaningful way to negotiate that. And also, the fingers have to be bent very specifically, or it's not going to make that turn. Yeah, see, the fingers kind of came out of whack. Now it's hard for me to dig it out because, okay. Yeah, this is giving me trouble the last time I transformed it too. But just make sure that the fist is balled up properly. Come on. There we go. There we go. That took way too much time. Okay. He does have a lot of areas that like lock and like hold him in place, and I think that's pretty cool. Like this will actually lock up later. This locks up. Yeah, just a variety of things. And so this backpack will come untabbed, and you can see that there are 2 slots up there with these bits. And this will kind of sit up, and these will eventually come forward and tab into that. And so we're actually we're going to work on the upper body first, and then we're going to focus on the lower half. Yeah, definitely got sick. Oh man. All right, so you can separate this bit because that red grill on the bottom is tabbed into this black piece. But there we go. There we go. You see that, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to bring that out Oh, no. Sorry. Very important part. Very, very, very important part. See the shelves of this, how they're sitting on top of this? You got to bring these out. Yeah, very, very, very important part. Almost forgot about that. And then you can bring all of this out. And you can see it's kind of like a neo version of the traditional jazz transformation coming together. Sorry about that. The ribs will orient upward. They'll come untabbed. And I'm also trying to spare my nails. And they will sit up. And as they sit up, there will be a corresponding tab area. But I'll just loosen them up for now. The arms. Before you bring this forward, you're gonna rock this out. And as you do that, you're gonna spin the arm around and orient it how you would like, jazz's typical transformation. Then you're gonna bring this upward, and there's a double hinge on here that you're going to use to rock the tire into that channel. And I think I got it right. And then you're going to spin this so that yellow bit is facing outward with the tires, because that tab on the forearm is going to be used to tab in the door. And then after you've done that, you can bring it forward. It's a lot easier to transform when you're not doing it on camera. There we go. And everything's smooth now. Everything is smooth in the groove, okay? Same thing on the other side. You're going to get that arm and pull this down. And at the same time, start spinning and orienting it backwards. Then using that double hinge. It's pretty tight. It's not super tight, but it will hold everything in place. I'm all like grunting about the pop squat right now. And you just get that to sit up as best as possible. And you can have these open because later on they're just going to sandwich down. Sit up as best as possible. And then rock that forward. Okay? And so this is what it'll look like right now. You see everything's kind of coming together. Very, very cool, right? This bit. There we go. Yeah, that bit opens up. The head will sit back. Be mindful, the space that you have to push back the head is very space specific. It's not tight, but you just have to make sure that the head is angled properly, so that you don't have difficulty when you're lifting it up later. But just be also mindful of that. I'm trying to remember when these go up because I recall them locking into a specific space, but maybe it's not time for that, or maybe it is. Yeah, the instructions, they're good. They're decent enough, but sometimes they cover things that are superfluous, and then later on they'll mention it again. Like one of the things is they talk about securing the top later on, but then they also tell you to do it at the beginning. And depending on when you do it, you will run into some like sequence issues, like having to do something first. Oops, I forgot to spin the arm. So there are a couple of things. And like this, they tell you to tab in all at the end, but I found that it was much easier to do it now because it gave me some sense of like an understanding, gave me like a roadmap, like, okay, these are all tabbed in, so now you're going to look for the thing to tab in here, etc. So again, just minor grabs. Just give me 1 second, okay? I'll be right back. All right, I just had to blow my nose. Definitely sick. Man, I was trying not to get sick, dude. So, hey, I apologize. I feel like this kind of like haze that I have right now, this feeling of being sick, is perhaps impacting the way I'm transforming this toy. And so if it's a little bit sloppy, forgive me. And also, like I said, I'm an old man, and I'm trying to do this without the instructions. So This is all going to come down later, by the way, and they were tabbed in via these posts over here, up here. Hey, it's like a little face. It's like, hey, it was plugged in like this, and also there's this bit that comes down when you're in robot mode to help secure the back. I forgot to deploy that part earlier. And so, yeah, not that we're done, but, you know, we're working through it. And now we're going to move these bits up. I think it's pretty involved, actually, that there's actually a double hinge on this so that the side skirts move up as far as possible. And I was like, okay. And then what you're going to do over here is, sorry, I just want to make sure this is all secure. I feel like something is not secure. Whatever, we'll figure it out later. This will untab, and you can see it's holding the hips together. Then what you're going to do is you're going to undo these hips, and you're going to bring them up. You're going to rock them up until, like, this is kind of, it's not necessarily parallel, but you're going to get it as best as you can. Yeah, maybe it does run parallel, the sides. I had a buddy, I don't know if he watches this channel. I know he knows about this channel, but his handle online used to be parallel, but he wrote peril and then L because it looks like the L's are parallel to each other, right? And when I first met him, I was like, your name's Peril? He's like, no, it's Peril L. See, Peril L, the two lines? And I was like, yeah, I see Peril. And so that was the running joke. Anyway. What's up, Peril? If you watch this channel. And yeah, good friend of mine. Super duper nice guy. Ultra strong and into Aikido. I'm all giving away this personal information about him. All right. So on the bottom over here, these will rock up. And the legs are just beautifully decorated and detailed. But boy, there's a lot going on over here, and the way this works kind of tripped me out initially. These will unlock, and see, that was the kneecap that I was talking about earlier that was tabbed into there, which is cool. But like, it covers up this kind of unsightly gap that probably you wouldn't have noticed, but it is there if you do notice it. And like, it would have looked like that. And so they provided a solution. So kudos to them, man. Kudos to them. I don't think by far this toy certainly isn't perfect. I'm trying to figure out what's the proper way to say that. It's like, it's by far not the most perfect toy. I think that was it. And dude, how come I can't? Okay, there we go. It's not perfect and it has its flaws, but it's pretty good. And like I said, those things about the paint scraping, I'm not a big fan of that. I really wish they had QC'd that a little bit better, or just left paint off completely on that area, or molded it in a different plastic or something. But yeah, but still pretty good. And then so the feet I know are going to trip me up, like that does that. This is so this is on a swivel, it spins around. This is also on a swivel, so you have to manipulate this around, but in order to do so you need clearance here. In order to get that clearance, you have to raise this bit separately. This is on a hinge, like a swivel going up, this, everything. And so once you do that, then you can turn this around. Otherwise, you will not have the clearance to do so. This is also on a hinge that bends down because later on, you will need to move this entire piece down over here. And so I feel like I've done something out of order because I can't figure out how to swivel. Oh, okay. All right, and that's going to swivel over, and it will. There's like a ledge at which it'll hit, and so you know where the stopping point is. Oh, goodness gracious. These feet I know are going to end up on the middle, so I'm going to let that guide me, and so I can bring this back down, and then I can bring this up. Then you can see that this is going to bend in here, but in order for that to happen, you're gonna have to lift this up, And this is going to sit in this channel. But before you do that, it's a couple of things that you have to do with the feet. You're going to get this, the top of the foot, whatever you call that anatomically, and you're going to there we go. You're going to rock that bit up, and then you're going to spin these side bits so they're laying flush. After you've done that, you can bring everything in, and if you've done it properly, that little tab will slot into the top of the foot. Okay? So that'll work like that. This is the part that trips me up. So the way this is designed, it's going to like, I don't know if the word is telescope up, but it's going to move up like that. And so you got to imagine that like you're trying to break the sculpt between this circle thing and then that area right there. And so just imagine you're separating that and then you're bringing this up, but dude, it's really tight. It might be the tightest joint I was about to say in the game, in the car, and you just make sure that the legs are up here. And at this point, you're just hoping that you have compressed the legs deep enough so that this will sit down on it. Otherwise, we're going to be in trouble. But yeah, I think that's as far as it goes. But you want it to be looking like that. And so we'll repeat the same process here on the other side. I'm pretty surprised that I was actually able to get it. And then the tabs on the sides of the knee will plug into an area on the calf in the back, but mine is not plugging in right now. So I can see that it's right there. 1 second. You know, I swear it's supposed to lock in. I know it locks in robot mode, but maybe it doesn't in alt mode, and I couldn't find an area for it, so I think I was just wasting my time. But you live and learn. You live and learn, my friends. Let's see. Yeah, we got this all up. We got this all up. And so now we got to start figuring out how to orient the foot. We can give this... you can give that a spin. Orient that up. Oh man, I can really feel it now, dude. Oh, I hate getting sick. And we are going to bring that up so that we can bring this up, hinge, get it past that so that we can bring this back down. Now we can spin and affix the spoiler. Pretty involved, you know what I mean? But hey, what are they going to do? Like, they're going out of their way to achieve a very specific look. And I dig the Rotom. I dig all the modes, actually. But the transformation is, it's fine. I think it's fine. It's just that it's very involved. And there are just a lot of steps. But I don't think it's impossible. And then we bring that up. Like some toys, there was... this one Waspinator that turned into a helicopter. That was like one of the worst toys I've ever transformed. Yeah, I remember I was having a conversation with Deluxe Baldwin when he interviewed me about like worst toys to transform, and we're cracking up. It's kind of interesting when you talk to other influencers because you can commiserate with them on like the struggle, the grind set of the thing that you're trying to do and the things that you encounter as a content creator. And so that's always fun. Again, this part, the toughest joint. You got to break it up. You got to rock that baby up. It's squeaky weaky. But you got to push that in as best as possible. And then everything will compress up. And yeah, I could have swore this closed, but it must just be for bot mode. And I'll accept that. I think it would have been nice had it been able to close. That would have provided an extra dimension of a stability and locking mechanism. But it has a ton already. So the feet tab in together like that. And these, yeah, it looks like they're all on die cast. And this will then hinge down And if you've done it properly, it's supposed to lock the legs in place. And the fact that it is not gives me little cause for alarm, but no, it's okay. It's okay. And then this bit has to, yeah, sit under there. And you can press that on top of the feet. And then you can affix this. We're doing it, guys. We're doing it. Okay. Now all that's left is the top right. Jeez Louise, I have a fatty headache now. Oh man. Maybe I should get some food in my stomach. Maybe that'll help. We're going to bring out the windows. Dude, I don't like operating like this, but I love doing toy reviews. Okay. It looks like... I think I got the spacing right. Yeah, there it goes. There it goes. Wow, we did it. We're kind of operating in the dark, but we got it. We got it. Actually, you know what? There's one part that you got to do last. So we're going to orient the doors like this and slide them down. Same thing for the other side, and we'll just slide them down as far as they will go to the front. And now you're going to bring this closed. You're going to bring this down to close it. But what you got to do is you got to get the blue tabs to sit under the roof. And the doors will tab into the... Basically, you got to tab this in last. This will go over here. So get the doors to tab into the forearms. That's one point of... another point of connection. Just got to make sure everything's lined up, though. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It's like ever so shy. Ever so shy. Actually, this one on the right is completely off. All right, give me 1 second. All right, I didn't want to have to do all that on camera. And so we're just kind of closing everything up. The back, it will slip onto the top. And as you're doing that, this will slip over here and you will tab that baby in. Same thing for over here. Bring that back, bring that forward, tab William H. Taft. Tab everything in, and here he is, Jezzy in his DJ Jezzy Jeff. You guys know who that is? No? It's Will Smith's homie from way back. DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. And he was also on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air as Jazz. Beautiful. Beautiful. I met Will Smith, by the way. I went to go see a taping of that. A Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And, dude, all right, really quick. Dude, shout out to Will Smith, dude. I mean, granted, say what you want to say about what's going on and stuff like that. But in that taping, and they pay you actually to go watch. So we went as the YMCA and we took a bunch of people. So you make money. They pay you $10 to go watch it. And it's hours. It's hours and hours of taping. And they're taking breaks like that. Dude, in the middle of the taping, a bunch of girls behind us were saying that it was a homegirl's birthday and stuff. They were like, well, dude, he came up and he gave homegirl a hug, dude. And she like nearly fainted and stuff. Like, dude, that was super cool of him. He didn't have to do that, you know? And then also he broke out in rap at a certain point. Like, he was really entertaining and he was very, very, he was like a great host. And I remember walking away thinking, like, having such a high opinion of it. And I still do. And I still do. Carlton did the dance. Alfonso Riviera did the dance. Yeah, man. It was a really, really good experience. And, dude, I totally forgot about that. Until, like, this very moment. Maybe I'll talk about that one of my shorts. My bad, dude. I was just holding the toy here, reminiscing about myself. Like, oh, God. But, yeah, shout out to Will Smith. All right. Everything is tabbed in. And it looks good. It looks nice. Tires are, like I said, they could be better. And there's a couple of blemishes on them, actually. These roll better, but they don't, like, they need some, like, yeah, some lube or whatever it is, dude. Like, they don't roll really well. And plus, this skims the bottom of the ground. It's just too close for me to comfortably be like, la, la, la. You know what I mean? As I showed you at the beginning of the video, the way everything fits on is tabs on Zeru. Can it go the other way? No, it looks better this way. contours better. I think, or I'm making it up. It can do that. But the other look, the one that scrapes the paint, is that. Looks okay, but again, mind you, you're going to lose some paint, okay? Be mindful of that. The swords. Dude, I could have been doing all of this while telling you guys a story. The swords will mount over here. You can see that looks good. That looks good. And the tires spin independently of that spoke, so the what is it? The wheel isn't going to be turning the entire time. And these will just tab into the spoilers. Yeah, it's all right. Not the best place to put them, but at the same time, what else are you going to do? Maybe they could have had it on the side, but so that's kind of like the super armored look. And if you want, you can add the speakers, those bad boys. Top. There you go, dude. The nachos Belgrande, dude. The give me nachos with like everything in your refrigerator on it. But that's him. That's him. That's him. That's him. That's him. For what it's worth, I think it's a pretty good toy. I think it's a really nice toy, actually, both in bot and alt modes. Score out of 5, I guess. Well, you use 5 or even 10. 10 allows us to be a little bit more accurate. I'd give this dude a 7.5 to an 8. He would be an 8 if not for those paint issues. Engineering is cool. It's fun. But again, it's very involved. But once you get it the first time, like I know I'll be able to transform this guy back like lickety split this time around. I've done it about 6 times already, and it's been getting easier and easier, especially like I said, old man with old hardware. But I'll give him like a 7.5 or an 8 out of 10. I think he's very, very beautiful in both of his modes. And so if you're looking for like a 3-0 figure that can kind of transform, has that aesthetic, I think this is for you. Material is not PVC. It's some type of other plastic. I don't know. But yeah, it's definitely different than the Hasbro type fare. He is masterpiece scale, and so know that when having him scale with the other characters. And I think that's about it. I blabbed long enough. Talk to you soon. Bye.